Welcome back to another quarantine edition of an Investor's Journey podcast. I am your host, Jonathan Barbera, and in case you did not know, every week we're bringing you a live Facebook interview with a pro from our real estate industry that they are sharing true gold. I mean, these people are not only sharing tactics that's worked for them, but they're sharing with you what they've done to pivot during this crisis. And the stuff they're coming out with and the stuff that they're sharing so far has been blowing my mind. I know already with just the 3 interviews I've done, we've already made adjustments to our business because of it. So, I mean, it's huge value, and being able to attend live just helps you ask them whatever questions you want because, I mean, they're there to help. So, and they've agreed to answer pretty much anything and everything that you're curious about within all the spaces that we're trying to cover. So far we've had people talking about, owner finance, rentals. Last week we had Tim Macy, who's a realtor here in San Antonio, an investor, and he was talking about how he's used Facebook and YouTube to grow his lead gen and everything, what he sees with the market as a realtor and as an investor here. Next week, I'm very excited. We're going to bring on an online digital marketer specialist. So he's been a friend of mine for a very long time, and he's helped me really get going with a lot of our the stuff that we've done. And he's going to be, I'm already getting a lot of questions from you guys that I've reached out to. So we're going to be answering a lot of things on Facebook marketing, Facebook ads, on building a brand, on whether you should use your personal, your business page, on a lot of these things. So we're going to cover all of this, websites, everything. So if you're not watching, you need to be watching these Facebook Lives and attending live so you can ask these questions yourself. These are every week. We were doing them Friday, but I did get a lot of feedback from you guys that you're saying, Friday evenings is tough because that's when a lot of people start unwinding and all this. So we are moving it to Tuesdays. So we're not doing it, obviously, this week. We're skipping this week to do it next week. So we're going to be doing it this coming Tuesday. We're going to be putting it up. So make sure to go to our Facebook page at Prime Homes to see when we schedule that live for, and make sure to join. And without further ado, let's get going with this episode. So we've been getting this question a lot from a lot of you guys, so I decided to go ahead and just make an episode about it. And it's pretty much, what is it that we are doing at Prime Homes during this crisis? How are we preparing ourselves? How are we protecting ourselves in all of this, right? So I wanted to start off by sharing, we're going to cover 3 things that we are doing. And we're going to cover how we're working our network, what we are still investing in right now, and what our marketing looks like to do all these investments. All right. So first things first is working our network. That is by far the first thing that we started doing when this all hit the fan. Because when all of this happens, and many of us have not been, we weren't in business during the 2008 crash, right? So we don't know what to expect. I've read a lot of books and I've done a lot of research on what's happened in previous crises because I love economy, I love economics, business and real estate. So I love studying all of this. So we kind of prepared ourselves with that knowledge, but still we've never been through it. So we started tapping into our network right away. As soon as everything happened, I started calling everybody that I know that's been in this for 15, 20 plus years and asking them, what have you seen? What's your experience? What are some trends that you're seeing? And a lot of these people are the people that I'm going to be bringing on to the podcast and to the interviews, because the stuff they've been sharing with us has been gold, right? I mean, getting their perspective, and we've been getting perspectives from all over the range, right? We've had our friends that have been doing this since Sam Madrid was on one of our interviews, and he's been doing it since 94. And right now he's not buying. He's sitting on the sidelines, right? And then we have other people that have been doing this for 30 plus years and they're buying, right? So the reason you tap into your network is to see this information. We don't take just one person's point of view and say, well, they've been in it for that long, so if they're doing it, I'm gonna do it too. You need to make up your own mind, and that's why you need to tap into that large network. And we've worked so hard to build this network, and now it's really producing. It's showing us why we worked so hard to build this network, right? Because now we're able to reach out to these people, and it's been so valuable, the stuff they've been sharing with us and the stuff that we've been able to implement. So we've been reaching out to our networks of investors. We've been reaching out to our lenders, seeing what their positions are. Are they still looking to lend moving forward? Are they not? Are they hurting? Are they going to pull back? Because that's going to determine what we do moving forward for ourselves. We need to know, do we still have access to that money, or do we need to start looking for other forms of funding, right? Because if we want to keep buying properties and everything, funding is a big priority. So we've reached out to our lenders. Fortunately, our lenders, they're very savvy, very, very savvy investors, and they know what it is to be in real estate. So they're still in it. They're still lending. They're still just, they know what it is. And because we've worked so hard to build our relationships with them, they're still lending to us, and they're happy to keep moving forward. So that's been very crucial for us, and we keep doing that moving forward. We keep touching base with them, making sure they don't need anything and everything's okay, because you got to protect the people that have helped you get this far. So we've been reaching out to our lenders. I've been reaching out to a lot of wholesalers, because a video that I'm gonna do next, probably next week, is how to profit, not just profit, but really how to survive this as a wholesaler. Because many wholesalers are gonna go out of business. Many wholesalers are gonna go out of business. A lot of you already have gone out of business because you never took the time to do it right. You understand? And now that shit has hit the fan, you're losing. You don't know how to make deals. You don't know how to negotiate a good contract. So I've been reaching out to the few wholesalers that I actually like working with, and I've been helping them. I've been making sure, hey, do you have the resources that you need? Do you understand how to do these negotiations? Do you know how to do these other strategies? Because I want to educate them and help them out so they can keep bringing us deals. And not just deals, but good deals, right? Deals that we want to buy. And right now, we're seeing so many buyers leave the market because they don't have funding, they don't have the knowledge, and they're just scared. So many buyers are leaving the market, which is leaving it for those of us that know what we're doing to be able to jump in and actually get it done. So that buyer pool of that wholesalers used to be able to rely on for their really shitty deals is no longer there, and it's dropping substantially. We were talking to a massive wholesale company. Well, not we. A friend of mine was talking to them, and they were talking about how they went from selling 5 properties a week to selling less than 1 a week. And this is a very big wholesale company, right? They're the ones that sell 30 to 40 houses a month, supposedly. But they've taken a huge hit because the market is going to shift. The strategies are going to shift. So I wanted to make sure that our wholesalers are prepared so they can keep bringing us good deals. They can stay in business. So we've been working with our wholesalers, making sure that they're doing very well. And we've also been working with buyers. So we've been tapping into our buyers. We haven't sold any real estate, and by sold I mean wholesaled any real estate in quite a while. We usually keep pretty much everything that comes through. But we feel that, we are going to, and like I said, we're going to cover marketing later on in this podcast, but we are going to get back into wholesaling as this unravels, because we will get to a point where we're going to be seeing a lot of deals coming through our table that we're not going to be able to take every single one of them through. So we're tapping back into our buyers and re-educating them, showing them what we're seeing, sharing with them our resources, our data, everything that we're seeing, so they're better prepared when we can generate the leads and generate the deals coming out of this. They're better prepared so they can take them down themselves. So that's what we've been doing as far as our network. Now, what it is that we've been doing as far as our own investments, we are still looking for rental properties. We're still buying lots for new builds, and we're still buying flips. We're still doing those 3 things that we've been doing this whole time. We haven't jumped into owner finance yet because we're not seeing that quite yet as being a necessity. Not that it may not become one, but we're just not seeing that right now. So right now we're basing it all on data, and we're just staying a lot more conservative with the investments that we do. So we haven't really gotten hit at all with our investments, fortunately, because we've always followed the data. We never followed the emotions where everybody was so gun ho into the historic districts and all these. These people are getting destroyed right now, right? And everybody on Airbnbs, they're getting destroyed right now because they were chasing the money. They weren't understanding the business model. So we, from a beginning, we always prepared for crashes. We saw what worked and didn't work in crashes. So we never overextended ourselves in risky deals. So that's why we're not hurting right now, which is great. And it's not to brag, it's just to show you that, you got to run your business smart. You can't be chasing the money, because this is precisely what happens when things like this come out of nowhere and hit you. So we are still buying rentals. The information that we're using for rentals is we're trying to stay in that competitive market, right? We're looking at the data. What's that price point that people are always going to rent? And in San Antonio, we're looking for around 1,400, 1,100 to 14, 1,500 month rent is pretty much the bread and butter. That's where we are. So if we get a house in in that rent area with the ARV, 160, 170, that's pretty much where we want to be. That is that bread and butter that if anything happens, we know we can go ahead and flip the house because it's a good starter home. And if we need to, it's a great rental. So it gives us a lot of flexibility and an exit strategy, which is what you need to look for. So that's what we're looking for rentals. As far as flips, same thing. We're trying to stay under the $200,000 price point, because you're going to find more people are going to be able to afford those than north of 250, 300, at least in our market, in San Antonio. Other markets are different. Wherever you are, you got to figure out what that price point is in your market. But in our market, we want to stay sub 200, and those are the houses that we're flipping. And then when we're flipping them, I did an episode last week on how you want to flip houses. So we are sticking to our 5 keys of making sure quality is good, our funding, everything is on point. Because right now we are starting to shift. We haven't gotten there yet, but we are starting to shift to more of a buyer's market than a seller's market. So you got to cater to these buyers a lot more. So we're starting to make that shift. And as far as new builds, same thing. We're trying to find lots and everything where it makes sense to build houses around that $200,000 price point of a sell target, because people still want brand new homes because they're less risky, and that price point is very attractive. So those are the things that we're looking at as far as rentals, flips, and new builds. Now for marketing, what are we doing with marketing? Marketing right now, we are actually waiting, because I hear a lot of you guys, that you're starting to chase these people that are falling behind and all this stuff. And I get it. I get the logic behind it. But here's the problem that I see is while we continue this shutdown, the government is pretty much going to pull out all the stops to prevent people from losing their homes, right? And while that hope is still there, homeowners are waiting to see what's going to happen. They're waiting to see, are they going to get more money from the government? Are they going to get more perks? Are they going to get more forgiveness? All of these things. And the government is pivoting as this thing gets worse. They're making more and more adjustments to the whole economy, right? And to homeowners that currently own these houses that they're falling behind on. So as this time goes on, we're going to start seeing more and more, I guess, they're going to break it down better as we move forward as to who's really protected and who is not, right? Because they keep saying all these homeowners keep saying, oh well, they're forgiving our loans, right? Because we're getting all this that we don't have to pay right now and all of this, and I'm like, that no, they're not forgiving anything. You understand? Yes, you may not have to pay today, right? And they're giving you a month or so that you can skip your payments. But then when this is all over and they open up again, you're going to have to be making all those payments at once. And a lot of people this is something a lot of people are not keeping in mind, is that unemployment is going to continue to rise regardless of what happens now. We've already been shut down for too long. Unemployment will continue to rise. There are companies that are not coming back again. There are companies that got hit so hard that it's going to take them a while to bounce back again. And this is going to trickle down and it's going to drag on for a couple years, right? So throughout that time, we're going to see foreclosures spike up. We're going to see all that spike up, but not right now. Not right now, as in the month of April, right? What is the month of May going to bring? I don't know. So what we are doing is we're waiting on the marketing, but at the same time, we're setting up our systems. So we're setting up our cold calling systems. We're setting up our text messaging systems, our direct mail systems, how we're going to track and follow up with them. We're paying close attention to all the regulations that the government's coming out saying, hey, don't worry about this, don't worry about that, because these are all things that we're seeing. Okay, so homeowners are going to start protecting themselves here, and from just how the government works, later they're going to be like, all right, that's enough, and cut everybody dry, right? So that's what we feel is going to happen. I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's just from what we've studied in the past and what we've seen the government always do. And this is not blaming the government, don't get me wrong. It's just that people always feel that they are, just because they get this little bit of help, that they're always going to get this help. And I don't think it's going to work that way. It will get to a point where it's enough is enough, and they will have to stop, and they will have to make some adjustments. And a lot of people caught in the middle there thinking that they were going to be good with not paying their mortgage ever again, they're going to find themselves in a very tough situation. So we are preparing ourselves for that. We are setting up our marketing and our systems, because when that comes through, and I'll keep you guys posted when we start ramping up our marketing, what we're marketing to and everything. I'll keep you posted on all that. But when that comes through, we're going to just put a full throttle and really step on it. You understand? We're going to step on it with all these different marketing tactics. We're starting to set up a lot of campaigns and stuff that we're going to be testing out, online marketing as well. So we are right now, we're in the process of getting ready. And we are still buying. So like I said, we're working on our wholesalers. We're educating them. We're trying to generate more leads that way. We're working with agents, helping agents, educating them as well. We're from agents right now, and you guys can do this too. What we always tell them: bring me a house that you know is just not going to sell because it needs too much work. We'll fix it up, and when we flip it, you'll list it. You understand? We tell that to all of our agents, because I don't care for them to list it. I'll make your 3%, but don't make your 3% on a $60,000 home. Make your 3% on a $170,000 home, right? And we still give them, of course, a finder's fee for bringing us the property. So they're making a lot more money than just selling it one time. So it's a good incentive to give, realtors that you may know, that you may be friends with, that have access to properties like this. But you got to remember that, you need to be able to know what you're doing. So right now, keeping your budgets tight when on a rehab really matters. Making sure your rents are on point when you're trying to refinance. Making sure you know everything. If you're doing new builds, my goodness, you really need to know what you're doing. Because, we're in the process right now with a couple new builds, and dealing with the city has been a freaking lottery with all the dumb shit that they come up with. And I'm not saying a lottery in the good sense. I'm saying that you have the same chances of hitting the lottery as to getting a straight answer from the city. It's been tough. So if you're going to get into new builds or anything like that, please make sure you're doing your due diligence, partner with people that know what they're doing, because it's a lot. It's a very tedious process, and it could really drag on. So that's pretty much it. That's what we're focusing on right now. We're still just building our business. Right now we're just being a lot smarter with what we're doing, working on our network, making sure we're protected. And whenever anything comes about that we need to jump on, we have the connections, we have the resources, we have the money accessible that we can go ahead and take advantage of it. So I hope this helps. If there's any of these areas that you want me to expand on, or you want to reach out to us and ask further questions on, please reach out. We're here to help. And pay attention to our Facebook Prime account, as I'll be sharing shortly when that Tuesday call is going to be, at what time. All right. But you will not want to miss it because online branding is where it's going to be. It's where it's been and it's where it's going to continue to go. So the longer you take to jump on it, the harder it's going to be for you. So make sure to attend and share with your friends because I'm telling you, it's going to be a hell of an interview. So thank you all for watching so much. And I hope you guys are staying safe and you're staying productive. And if you have any questions or any concerns, please reach out to us. We're here to help. So good luck with your investing. Good luck with everything. And have an amazing week.